Seed oils, the reason they're in the foods is because they're heavily subsidized. It's because we subsidize the worst foods. We subsidize it with about 70% of our food stamp program is to process foods, which are all poison.
Right. And it's interesting, the government subsidizes it. Why would the government want to subsidize something that's going to make people sick? And then in the end, we all end up paying for that in terms of healthcare costs, which are skyrocketing.
Yeah, because that is a direct result of corruption.
Making America healthy again is what all Americans should strive to do. They should try to be their healthiest self, smartest self, fittest version of themselves. Not just physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, all of that. You want to be as well-rounded and protect yourself and your family as much as possible. And you think the government is going to do that, whether Trump or Kamala wins? You think they're going to care for you like that? You got to care for your family like that and for yourself like that. But it blows me away that RFK went on Fox News and it was exposing the substances that are changing the waters and turning the freaking frogs gay.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Serious crap.
In all seriousness, we know these things, the seed oils, the additives, the stuff that isn't really found in nature. And it really does blow my mind that when RFK breaks this stuff down, there's a certain group of people that get mad and think that this is just right wing or red pill shill. You know what I'm saying? It's just like they get so mad at it. And it makes me scratch my head. I'm like, just take a step back, because our food is poisoning us. 0.5% of our brain is made up of plastic. A recent study was done at hospitals where they took placentas. 100% of them had microplastics in it. We are, as human beings, are continually to have more microplastics and more just crazy things that they're finding within us, and it's causing a lot of issues. But before I go any further, listen to what RFK has to say.
Why should people be worried about these kind of products?
Seed oils are one of the most unhealthy ingredients that we have in foods. And seed oils, the reason they're in the foods is because they're heavily subsidized. They're very, very cheap, but they are associated with all kinds of very, very serious illnesses, including body-wide inflammation.
Right.
Which affects all of our health. It's one of the worst things you can eat, and it's almost impossible to avoid. If you eat any processed food, you're going to be eating seed oil.
Right, and it's interesting, the government subsidizes it. Why would the government want to subsidize something that's going to make people sick? And then in the end, we all end up paying for that in terms of healthcare costs, which are skyrocketing.
Yeah, because that is a direct result of corruption. About 75% of FDA's budget comes from regulated industry, and that means food processors and pharmaceutical industry. All of them profit from a sick population.
A big item that, and by the way, it's getting very expensive, are cereals. Why is the food coloring in particular bad?
Food coloring, you see here yellow food coloring, that is a petroleum product. Mm-hmm. It's associated with really, with depression. It's associated with autoimmune injuries and ADHD.
Yeah.
And red dye also is very bad. In Europe, the same companies are producing the same products, but they're using natural coloring. But here they can get away with it. We have about almost 1,000 chemicals that are in our food that are either outright banned in Europe or actively discouraged. So you wouldn't be able to buy this kind of stuff in Europe. You ask about why it's so cheap, why it's so ubiquitous. It's because we subsidize the worst foods. We subsidize it with about 70% of our food stamp program is to process foods, which are all poison.
Right. One of the things that's interesting is you'll see on labels natural flavors, which is this catch-all phrase that I guess was lobbied for, but the ingredients in natural flavors are not really natural.
No. In our country, natural flavors are chemical products. So you can't trust what's on the ingredient label, and the reason for that, again, is government corruption. It's that the agency, the USDA, the FDA, have been captured by the industries they're supposed to regulate. And they all have an interest in subsidies and then in mass poisoning the American public.
I want to talk about pesticides, and then let's talk about the policy. So let's talk about the pesticides and the things that worry you about. I mean, this looks like fresh food, right? What should I be worried about here?
Yeah, I mean, the irony is, like, for example, my wife loves kale, and she had the impression that kale is actually good for you. If it's organic, it's very good for you, but most kale and strawberries, for example, grapes, are contaminated with pesticides, and particularly the Environmental Working Group has found what they call the dirty dozen, some of the worst pesticides on these products. So I look at a strawberry and I think, oh, this is a healthy food,
Right.
but in most cases, unless it's organic, certified organic, you are getting something that's actually hurting you.
From seed oils to food coloring to even the pesticides that they go out on, that they're spraying on fruits, on berries, on the vegetables. It really is crazy to me that we are subsidizing 75% of our budget is subsidizing this. When we look over to Europe, a lot of these things are banned, and we could sell the same products, and in fact we do sell the same products. Cereal was the example in the video, so I'm going to use Kellogg's for now. We can have Kellogg's cereal sold here and then Kellogg's sold over there, and the Kellogg sold here is going to look like my room. It's going to have neon colors. It's going to be much more bright and vibrant compared to what's being sold in Europe, because it doesn't have all these extra flavoring, or the food colorings, excuse me, which growing up I knew people. I went to school with people who were allergic red dye 6 or something along those lines, or people are allergic to certain kind of dyes. And if we just take a step back and look at, you know, from the early 90s, I'm a 90s baby, so I'm looking at it from my time. And you see all the stuff that we're pumped into as babies, all of the different medications, the stuff that were put on, and it's a no wonder that our immune systems are just completely compromised as we're growing up, and no one's actually developing a true, strong, healthy immune system. It's all constantly being bombarded by different intruders coming in, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. But if you do like the way the words are coming out of my mouth, if you are picking up what I'm putting down, please like the video, subscribe, share it to your friends. I like whatever I see on the internet that I find interesting or that I want to react to. I want to put my 2 cents out there, and I know if I have an opinion, I know someone's going to have that same opinion, which is kind of smelling my own farts. But I have learned so much from doing this, from like videos I've done about Poland, and having Polish people actually comment on the videos. Like, I love the discourse with creating YouTube videos. It has been so much fun. So please, if you've gotten to this point of the video, domo arigato, Mr. Roboto, and leave your comments down below. I'll definitely be looking forward to them. And it's, as I recorded this, it's like the day before Black Ops 6. It's like Black Ops 6 Eve. I hope you guys got your plane ticket to New Zealand. I sure as fuck did. So I'll see you in the Black Ops 6 lobbies. Bye.